Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for October 2025. You have this card that says Know Your Worth, and you also have this card that says You Are Never Alone. October for you, Aries, is going to be about bold moves and, making bolder moves in your life. So I think that the Know Your Worth card is important. It's like, obviously, if you believe in yourself, then you're probably going to make bolder moves in your life. And, that's basically what I would be doing is making sure that you're not holding yourself back or, making sure that you're working on reaching your full potential. Technically, Saturn and Neptune are leaving your sign this month. Well, Saturn has already left your sign, but Neptune will be retrograding into Pisces. And, again, I think Saturn and Neptune in your sign for the next, Neptune will be there for a while. Saturn will be there for about 2.5-ish years. And, but for the next few years, I would say, I would be working on, kind of making those bold moves, not limiting yourself as well. And, kind of like doing things that really put you out there or something. And I feel that's like what you need to do. In your first row for your current general energies, you have the Temperance card. The Empress and the World wanted to come out together in the Seven of Cups. I feel you have been patient. Most people don't consider Aries to be a patient sign, I guess, but I feel you have been very patient, waiting for changes and, kind of like trying to build things. It's also kind of weird that, like, the best way, I just want to tell you what I'm feeling here at the beginning of the reading. It's like sometimes, like, I think for Aries, maybe what you've experienced over the years is it's like if you have money, maybe you don't have love or, something else that you want in your life. And then it's like, then you get love and then your money goes down. It's like, I feel this kind of like very, your opposite sign, Libra. It's like this back and forth energy where it's like you kind of like, you fix one thing and then something else kind of falls apart, right? And I get this energy of you trying to, like, it's kind of like plugging holes, where it's like if you have a leak, you plug one hole on something that's leaking and then you find a leak somewhere else. And I feel that's what you've been used to for a very long time. And, the thing that I really like about this reading is I feel like you are balancing things out more. And it's like maybe you've realized what you need to do to, be able to do that, to kind of create that balance in your life, right? And so, for love, for example, if you get love and then your money starts to suffer, it's like maybe you have realized that you can't spend every waking minute with a person and you have to kind of have balance, right? And that is what I feel on this Temperance energy. You have the Empress and the World, so clearly, Aries, you are very attractive at this time. If you're looking for love, I would definitely put yourself out there in the world with the World card. This could be some sort of accomplishment coming in for you. I always say this to Aries, but I feel like Aries is different in some way because I feel like Aries has like a constant, something that you have always wanted to work towards in your life, which again is very different. Everybody else is very much more, like adventure, where it's like they're just kind of seeing where things go. And it doesn't really matter where they land. And I'm not saying that it does matter where you land. I'm just saying I feel you are different because it seems to me like you have a specific goal in mind or like a specific outcome, and that's maybe not as flexible. But I also feel this is good for you. I don't feel it's bad for you. Like, I encourage most signs. I think we're in a time where we have to be flexible. We have a lot of fixed energy. We have Pluto in Aquarius. We have Uranus will be retrograding back into Taurus. The list goes on and on there. So, it's like we have to be flexible, but I feel that this is saying you have a vision for your life. You have the Ten of Pentacles here as well, which is your ultimate vision for your life. And I feel that you are just kind of continuing to work towards it with these cards. The World is normally an accomplishment, but again, I kind of feel this is like the goal for the Empress is the world. Maybe you want to take over the world, Aries. I'm not sure, but that looks pretty good. You have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is about being spoiled for choice. You have 2 sevens here. Sometimes, to me, 2 sevens is like internal fears that don't exist, and especially when they come up like basically touching in a reading. And then we go up to the 6 of Cups. So for those of you that want love, this could be some fears around love, or maybe you need to let go of old fears around surrounding love. This could also be too many options, and so sometimes we just have to like pick something and see where it goes. And I'm not talking about love, by the way. I'm just talking about in your life in general. And so I feel for a lot of you that this is saying there's a million ways to accomplish anything, and it really doesn't matter like where you get started, right? All that matters is that you do start. And I feel the Seven of Cups is kind of encouraging you to get started on something. It could be a childhood dream with that Six of Cups. We'll see in a minute when we get there, but, there you go. With the Temperance card, yes, Knight of Pentacles, just getting started exactly like I just said. Knight of Pentacles is the only knight in the tarot that is not moving. So it's time to start here, Aries, to do something that you've always wanted to do. It really wouldn't surprise me if over like the next 6 months, if you did start like a little side hustle, side project, something like that. It's kind of popping into my head. And you might be saying to yourself, I'm just going to see where this goes. And, the funny thing is I think when we have that attitude where we just say like, I don't need this to work, I'm just going to allow it to work if it does. Usually those things work a lot better, right? And so, it's like one of those things. I always tell, like, this channel that I just started it just because, because my mom told me to, right? And I never really thought it would be something that I would, like, do, very seriously. It's not that I don't take it seriously. It's just, like, I don't know, it just didn't register at the time when I started it, right? And so it's like, sometimes I think when we start things from that perspective, we just do it for fun or whatever, those things work out better. I'm living proof. Here you go. With the Empress in the World, you have the Seven of Cups again. Yeah, I feel like you just need to choose something. It's like you need to realize that you could take over the world, maybe, Aries. And the Seven of Cups is my card of, like, fluff. He knows what he wants, but he's looking at all these things going on. There are good things and bad things in those cups. And so instead of getting started on his dream or, his childhood dream or whatever, he's thinking like, oh, well, things could go bad and things could go good, and he just keeps thinking about it. And so the Seven of Cups is like, what are you thinking about? Just, instead of thinking about it, just get started, right? Bring the dream down to earth and see what happens. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Death card. Yeah, I mean, the end of the year here is like a ton of change. And there is a lot of change. Right now we have Pluto retrograde. Pluto is going to go direct in the middle of this month, October, and that is like the rubber band snapping in life. It's like we've all probably since Mayish felt a little bit weird, and now it's kind of like snapping back when it goes direct. It's not going to happen overnight. Pluto is very slow moving, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But I feel that for a lot of people, they could be kind of like snapping out of the fog, the haze, and being like, oh my God, I need to get moving in life. And I feel a lot of people are going to be making changes because of that feeling. Obviously, it looks like a good thing. You have the Judgment card here. Judgment is like waking up to your true purpose or understanding your purpose. So, a lot of you, I think, are maybe snapping out of the fog and realizing what actions you need to take. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Marriage card. It says commitment, union, and integration. You have this Crowd. It says community, connection, and anonymity. I feel that, sure, some of you could be, if you're getting married, you already know. And if you are looking for love, you could be meeting a solid person here. There are some good love cards in this reading. Even your first card, Ten of Pentacles. Some people look at it as a pentacle card, so they think money, but really it's a very good love card as well. This could also just be your commitment to the Ten of Pentacles, right? So it doesn't have to be a person, although that could be part of it. Ten of Pentacles is a very big picture card. It is everything you want and desire in your life all at once. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to have everything you want and desire, but it does mean that maybe you're working towards it or you're trying to create it. So I feel the more you commit to your vision with the Seven of Cups twice, the better things are going to go for you at this time. And again, it just seems to me like you're starting something from a more fun perspective, which I think would be good for you as well. Just being, even if it's love, right? I think just being like, whatever, I'll just, I'm just going to have fun. Just looking at it that way will probably make it work, right? So I feel that your perspective is going to be very important here with the Ten of Pentacles. Money looks good here as well. We go down Ace of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is coming up in the good stuff, which would represent coming out of the cold. So I feel a lot of you are doing things or are working on things that could, make you more money or are going to support you financially into the future. So that looks good. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but, Seven of Swords, I always say, is really a good card. he's stealing those swords from an army in the background. And so instead of going to war, he is stealing those swords. And it just represents doing things in a different way, which you are definitely one of the signs that will be doing things in a different way over the next few years. Like, again, how you're doing things now is definitely, I can say with confidence, not how you're going to be doing things in a couple years from now, right? You are definitely going to be making changes. Now, as I always say to you, Aries, that doesn't mean you have to like quit your job or, quit your business. It just means that you're probably going to be upgrading or doing things in a better way, and it will make your life better. 10 of Pentacles, right? And if you're making decisions, by the way, 10 of Pentacles is like, make the decision that will make your life better, right? Sometimes that might mean hard work. Sometimes that might mean discipline. So, it's like, sometimes I think people think like, oh, that means everything's going to be sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, but not necessarily. It's like sometimes doing the hard thing is the thing that will make your life better. So, it's going to go both ways. But the trick with the Seven of Swords, he has polka dots on his cloak. Polka dots in the tarot represent needing to have more fun, and I've been saying that this whole time, right? It seems to me like this reading is saying you need to do more fun things, or you need to do more things that you enjoy. You have the Judgment card. Judgment can be like a wake-up call, or waking up in general. These people are being called up out of these coffins by their higher self. And so you are clearly being called to make a change. The coffin represents your old life. Outside the coffin represents your new life. And so I feel a lot of you are being called away from your old life or what you've been doing for like the last 10 years maybe or so. And now you're just like ready to, go make the change, right? Or do something different or experience new things in your life. Moving comes up a lot for you. Of course, Jupiter in Cancer is going to be making you probably think about moving. I always say you don't have to move when Jupiter is in your sign, is in your fourth house. But what I would say is a lot of people do. And even if you're not moving, you might be making moves. You might be doing things to, create changes in the home or to upgrade your home, things like that. And, any move you can make would be good. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles. Sorry, I was thinking about the polka dots, right? Because we have polka dots right here on this card. So, you have both cards that basically say, it kind of makes me think that maybe you are taking things a little bit too seriously right now, and you need to be more kind of like lighthearted, playful, Six of Cups. There are two children on the Six of Cups, and, Six of Cups in regards to work or anything that you are taking seriously could represent taking a more childlike approach to the things that you're doing. Death card, same thing. Death card, we have this little child right here. And the Death card, the child is holding these flowers up to the Death Rider. And it kind of represents, children are excited by new things. They ask a lot of questions. They do a lot of research, right? Children are famous for asking the question, why, right? And so I think, embracing that childlike energy would be very good for you. Here you go with the Seven of Swords. You have the Page of Wands, non-attachment. Page of Wands, he doesn't really care how something goes. He's more excited about the adventure. He's not so much excited by the outcome. It's not that he's not excited by the outcome. He just is more like, I'm just going to see how things go. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to enjoy the adventure. And I feel the whole entire reading is encouraging you to do that here, Aries. I also feel like, it's almost like Lego, It's like, imagine if someone gave you a Lego box that had like one piece in it, but you had to like go find all the rest of the pieces. It's like, that's what I feel like you're doing. It's like there's something that you have to build right now. This might sound crazy, but this is the message I'm getting, is that like there's something you have to build. It's like you have one or two pieces right now, but it's like I think you have to go get the other pieces. And, that is what the Page of Wands is saying to me, to you, in this reading. With the Judgment card, you have the Judgment card. So basically, the universe saying I meant what I said. You're kind of being called up to go on an adventure so you can discover the Lego pieces so you can build whatever you're building. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Red Canyon card. It says Ancient and Future Energies. You have this Oak Creek Canyon. It says Moving to Another Level. Yes, that's what we've been saying. Is that Judgment. Judgment is a level up card. It is, kind of leaving the past in the past and taking things to the next level. So I feel a lot of you could be doing that. I feel this Ancient and Future Energies card is talking about, I do feel Aries could be clearing out a lot of just stories from your past. And, obviously if you're doing that, that would be a good thing. You have the Six of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, obviously having more fun right now would be a good idea for you. Kind of like approaching things from a fun, more childlike perspective, I think would be a good idea. Every once in a while, I feel that the Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive from the Six of Cups is a turnaround. So, we can be bumping up against an obstacle, we get the Six of Cups, we overcome the obstacle, and you could be overcoming some sort of obstacle here, especially with the Seven of Swords. Again, Seven of Swords, he's overcoming an obstacle in a creative way. He's not going to war, he's stealing the sword, so they can't be used against him in battle. And so I feel a lot of you could be like overcoming something with this card. You have the Ace of Pentacles, a lot of aces. I don't know, just maybe it's one of those years. Every once in a while, like every few years, it's like I do readings at either the beginning of the year or the end of the year where everybody gets a bunch of aces. And, I do think it is a time where we are in a significant change time. We had Pluto move into Aquarius. We have all these other major planets, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, are all changing signs basically at the same time, pretty much. And, whenever that happens, I think, of course, it can create a lot of changes. It's like new, fresh energy, especially Uranus going into Gemini. Uranus is retrograde right now in Gemini. It's going to retrograde into Taurus, but Uranus in Gemini is more powerful than pretty much anywhere else, except for maybe Aquarius. But Uranus loves Gemini. Uranus in Gemini is rebellion, and it's like very rebellious energy. So we could be, being asked to create like rapid change in our lives. And so there could be a lot of opportunity for you to do that here, Aries. You have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, of course, is about being bold, being assertive. Yeah, I said it in all the 2025 readings that 2025 is definitely a year, and I also think 2026 as well will be a year where it's like fortune favors the bold. It's like people who take the bigger risks, who put themselves out there, who are willing to work on new things, who are willing to leave old comfort zones. Those are the people who are going to be very successful. And so I would say don't be afraid of like learning as you go. Queen of Wands is my card of needing to learn as you go, and that would be a good energy for you to embrace. With the Six of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, Nine of Cups is like fulfillment or wish fulfillment. I would definitely make a wish at this time. Nine of Cups has also been an energy that has kind of surprised me in October. A lot of people have been getting it, and so Nine of Cups is about fulfillment. Nine of Cups kind of says we have to be fulfilled before we can get fulfillment. So sometimes I think we have to kind of brainwash ourselves a little bit with the Nine of Cups to be in the energy of success, so then you can attract it into your life. And I would definitely do that, but I would also make a wish. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords. Yeah, Five of Swords is about risk-taking. With the Judgment card, it makes sense. Judgment, you have to leave your old life behind. Five of Swords, you have to like walk away from something or cut something out. And, again, a lot of you definitely could be doing that, like cutting something out of your life that no longer serves you. It could seem like a little bit of a risk. I think this has to do with comfort for Aries. And it's like, we all have things in life. I don't have a good example. We all have things that provide us a certain level of comfort, but maybe we know that those things aren't right. Whatever it is. It's like, I love pizza. I love ice cream, right? Me, personally. But, I haven't been eating it, right? I'm trying to get fit here, right? I'm getting old and I need to be healthy. So, again, it's like, yeah, I love those things, but I have to cut them out. And so it's like, that's what the Five of Swords is saying to you. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. Yeah, more childlike energy. The Page of Swords is kind of like the card of the child. It's a card of curiosity. He would ask why a lot. So I feel it would be a great time for you to be curious about like new directions, whatever the Seven of Cups is, whatever you're thinking about, that you might be overthinking a little bit too much, or maybe you're thinking too much about the potentials that exist in whatever it is that you're doing, and that's the challenge that you have to overcome here. Next, in the area of the good stuff, yes, you have this card that says avoid drama for like the next year, basically. You have this forgiveness card as well. So, some of you maybe have to forgive past drama, or forgive things from the past would be a good idea. We just had that eclipse in Virgo, and Virgo plus the South Node in Virgo, I think is a good time for healing. So I feel letting go of things from the past would be a good idea. One thing I will say is we had Mars retrograde last year into this year in Leo. We just had a Mercury retrograde in Leo. Next year, Jupiter will retrograde in Leo. Whenever we have like multiple planets retrograding in basically the same sign, same sign, then it's like calling back the original retrograde. So Mars retrograde in Leo. It's like even Jupiter, even though Jupiter is good, it could expand those issues. So, again, I think we all need to act as if Mars is retrograde, even though it isn't, because, we should just avoid drama, avoid fights, things like that. You have the Eight of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. Eight of Wands is like quick success or quick conclusion. That's another thing I've noticed about October. It seems to be a very speedy month, or, I don't know. It's like everybody's had cards that would really represent the energy gaining momentum, basically, like things picking up speed, which I feel could be a good thing for a lot of people. We're kind of in this little bit of an in-between time. Unfortunately, we have Mercury going retrograde in November as well, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's like anything you can do to create momentum on, projects you care about, personal things that you care about, relationships, whatever. I would really spend the time building that momentum, because I feel it will probably carry you through the end of the year and, help with that retrograde energy. But it does seem like things are going to move very, very quickly here in October. I think that's something that we might notice collectively as well, just like in the world. We might see a lot of events and things like that going, kind of going crazy and moving quickly, and things changing 1 second to the other, and just the time that we're in, basically. You have the Four of Swords. Yeah, healing is going to be very important for you this month. Seems like it's like a 50-50 month where there are going to be moments of speed and moments where you have to take a break, right? And I would pay attention to that. He's also hoping and praying for a blessing. So in the good stuff, I always think the Four of Swords can definitely represent you receiving some sort of blessing. There's a person here being blessed by another person, and he's like hoping and praying to receive a blessing. So I feel some of you could be receiving blessings. You have the Five of Pentacles. I feel like you're fixing something financially or something like that. I feel that, like, if you have experienced a dip in your finances, like that, it's like I feel like you're coming up with something that is going to fix the dip, basically, is what's popping into my head with the Five of Pentacles. So I feel that's good. It's like you're correcting it and, getting back up. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty in the good stuff, so that's good. You could feel like this month is a little bit of a blessing. Like I said, you could feel like things are improving. I also do feel there could be love here. It's not really a love reading, Aries, but I would say that I do feel there's enough here to say that, there could be a person who has caught your attention, is kind of what I feel. And, yeah, it just looks good. I would just make sure balance. Like I said, it's like, don't give... I felt the need to kind of say this at the beginning of the reading. It's like, don't give it 100%, the whole thing, right? And that doesn't mean you're not giving it 100%, but obviously we all have lives. I think it's ridiculous when people are like, I don't like 50-50 in relationships. I like 100-100. It's like, okay, so like, what are you both going to be attached to each other's mouths all the time, 24/7? That doesn't sound good. It's like, that would be 100-100, obviously. So, again, I think we can't really ever give 100% in a connection, but it's, again, I think balance is important. With the Four of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, King of Pentacles is wealth building, and again, I think this is a focus for Aries, so you could be doing a lot to improve your finances, and it looks like it's working, which is good. So whatever you're doing, I would keep doing it. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles again. So basically, the universe saying I meant what I said. You could be improving your finances or doing something to improve your finances. And it looks really good. Especially, again, I especially get that message for those of you that have experienced like a dip in your finances that's like, that requires some sort of change. You have this wheel. It says indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. Seven of Cups twice. Literally. Seven of Cups can be... the guy on the card, he could be indecisive because he's thinking too much about the potential outcomes, which is what I felt for you. I feel like this is saying, like, it's like, yeah, like anything can happen. But that's life. So whatever you're being indecisive about, I would just get started. You have this Flowers card. It says happiness on it. I do see a lot of happiness. Ten of Cups, right? As your last card, showing up in the good stuff. There's definitely going to be a lot of things that could make you very happy at the end of the year here, not even just October. I kind of feel that you're a little bit lucky here, Aries. Like, I think, well, let me change that. I feel the Eight of Wands is saying, build a bunch of momentum to carry you through the end of the year. And, that will be a big benefit. You have this Mule card. It says someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. I don't know, maybe you. I'm not calling you out, but I am. And also, I would be careful of people who are stubborn, just in general. Again, with that Mars retrograde, even though we don't still have Mars retrograde, it's something I would pay attention to. You have this dagger. It says fears, worries, tense situation. I feel everybody feels this right now. Like, feels like something is coming around the corner, like something is about to happen. And, I don't know. Unfortunately, yes. There's nothing, there's nothing else I can say other than, yeah, probably, but it's like, should we worry about it or should we just do what we can? And, I really don't have any good advice there. You have this dark man. It says dealings with relationships with a man with dark complexion or hair. You have this older woman. It says dealings with relationships with an older woman. I always clarify these people cards. So, this could be a connection. There could be an age difference between the two people. But if you want love, I would go for it. I also, I feel this could be the other way around. It's like the person you're interested in, there could be an age difference, or I don't know. But pretty interesting. This looks pretty good, Aries. I do like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like and leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your month.